Hello everyone, my name is Kerry Mussington. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also director and founder of the Mind Over Matter project, the MUM, also known as Suicide Prevention. What we're here to do, or what I do, is I like to raise awareness on key factors, key points around health and well-being and what you can do for your loved ones and how you can help. Especially at Christmas, and it's not just Christmas, is it? But Christmas, it is a sign where people are thinking about their families and they're also thinking about rejection. You see, so then that will make them depressed. So, people try to mask it, but what I want you to do is reach out to somebody, reach out to your loved ones. Do whatever you can do, even send them a text. It doesn't matter if you don't get a reply. If it's something you want to do it. It doesn't mean you got to open up a can of worms, but you can say, what you're asking for is respect and understanding. We know that. But if you feel like sending a well-wish message, do it. The only person that's stopping you from doing things will be you. What is important here is family and friends. When I hear young men and women saying that they can't speak to their parents don't understand, that's probably because some parents are very dismissive and haven't been taught the right way either. So you're both on a ground where neither of you know how to communicate with each other, and it causes devastation. Where do they turn if they can't turn to their own parents? Where do your children turn? And if you have no parents, where do you turn? Especially if you have no friends either. So you have, people are there, in your lists. But we take the stance of, if they're not contacting us, well, I won't contact them. But maybe they just have got sidetracked just like you have. If you've got a list of people in your phone and you haven't phoned them either, it's a two-way street. And sometimes people need prompting, and they may have retracted into their own state of mind and need a little bit of prompting. So this time of year, this time of the world, whatever's going on out there, send a message if you need to send a message. Make sure your conscience is clear and that you've done all you can to help another person out. If your children are acting up or getting into trouble and this, that and the other, there's a problem there, isn't there? Get to the root of it. Listening skills. Sometimes listen and don't interrupt. That's all that's needed. And if they do come with an accusation, you haven't done this and you haven't done that, listen, think about it and find out what the meaning is. What are they asking of you? Good afternoon, darling, all the way from US of A. What are they asking of you? What can you do for your neighbours? What can you do for the person down the road? A little card? If you don't speak to somebody and you thought, I haven't spoken to them, get out your old Christmas cards. You've probably got loads sitting in the cupboard. Write a little message in there, just thinking that I wanted to spread some love this Christmas. I'll pop it in the post box. You don't need to say anything else. Just pop it in the post box, And it's not pleasant this time of year to think about homeless as well. I remember that journey when I started helping the homeless and realising how cold it really was outside. And some people are just not educated. Hello, Dorset. Some people are just not educated in what to do with their loved ones. And I mean, you can get yourself in a situation and somebody doesn't have the answer, but they do. Everything that you need is at your fingertips most of all. And you've got people out there that have found the way out, do know a little thing or two about situations. And sometimes knowledge is good and we have to pass that knowledge back over. I had a thank you today of a young lady who will be coming to do a live to talk about crisis. Excuse me. Her crisis and what that crisis point was and just how it changed with a simple act of kindness. You know, it was really quite nice to be thanked and appreciated, and just recognised for just that I was the one that lended an ear. And another gentleman, and I will give him a shout out, Jay from JDA Lifestyles, he was another person that lent an ear to an individual, which stopped a crisis. That's all it takes sometimes, is someone to listen. Most of all, if you know how it feels, you actually know the way out too. You have tips and tools under your collar, trust me. And all you've got to do is pass it on. What did you do to lessen the load, to lighten the load? What did you do when you were feeling rejected from your family? How did you manage to even communicate with your family? But I'm going to point a message out here to all parents out here. Parents or anybody that has got responsibility for loved ones. That's pretty much everybody. Listen intently before you lose your children. Listen intently before you lose your loved ones. It doesn't matter the age. They go one every 40 seconds, someone dies of suicide. But you need to listen intently. If you do not participate, and this is one of the things that I realised when I'm speaking to individuals, their parents are unaware of their state of mind. And when you say, could you speak to your parents? They are, no, I can't. Could you invite your parents to where there's some mediation? Could you do that? They're scared. If the one thing I know that you as individuals, you that born these children, can do, is provide every means possible to mediate for those children and listen. Because if you don't break that cycle, then they don't break that cycle. And when I listen to people through this therapy all the time, I'm listening to people, and it's always coming from their parents and their parents before. It's not until you get halfway through your life, and as they call it, a midlife crisis, where you wake up and you can actually see the pattern. If your parents never approached talking to people, then how did you learn to talk to people? If your parents didn't speak to you about mental health, how did you learn? How are you going to learn? How are you going to teach the next generation to talk freely, openly, without any shame, without any blame? And you see, that's what you have to master. Listening without the blame, having a conversation without the blame, and say, I felt like this. When you did this situation made me feel like this. Somebody has to take on board that we're accountable for our own actions and our mouths. And you have a chance to put it right if you give people a chance to put it right. It doesn't mean you're going to be best of buddies, but some people need closure. Now, one of the things I was against for the last year and a bit was actually reaching out to my own siblings. But you know what? I thought, we're in COVID, it's Christmas, and whether or not they ever speak to me, I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person. Wish you well for Christmas. All the best. I don't need to say anything else. I put it out there, and I hope that they have a beautiful Christmas and make the most of this world, what's going on out there. But if you can give a small amount to help someone, please do that. Please look around, see who's suffering, who needs food, who needs socks, who needs clothes. I've got second-hand clothes. If you guys need any clothes, ladies need clothes, and you're around to get it to you, wherever you want. If you're short of clothes because you don't have, it doesn't matter. If you're short of clothes and you need a helping hand, we can exchange, and I can post some clothes or something like that. That's me giving back at Christmas. I have unwanted clothes. I'm not going anywhere anymore, but I have unwanted clothes, and if anybody's in need of clothes, and some of them still have tags on them, then they're welcome to have them. Unfortunately, I'm in the Suffolk area, so that's where I can deliver them to. But if anybody else would like to participate and help their fellow neighbour to see what they want for Christmas, then please do that. There are people struggling. Give what you can. And if you don't even know them and you feel that someone's struggling, you might have something that you could just wrap up. It doesn't have to be brand new with tags on. Wrap it up and leave it at the doorstep. And just say, this is for you. Somebody was thinking of you at Christmas. You know, what can you do to make a difference to somebody this time of the year? I know what I've done. I'm raising awareness, and I'm going to do that as much as possible. So, Merry Christmas to you all. Take care, look after yourself, and stay tuned for more awareness and more interactions with other people that have been through crises and come out the other side. I, for one, am one of them. I am a survivor. I also, we have these labels, but you know what? I'm not going to let those labels define my ability to making a difference to this world. I'm Kerry Mussington, and mind over matter, and mum's the word.